I'm going to return to that story in just a moment. Reporter Aisha Ismail is standing by for us in Cape Town. But before that, I want to take you live to Nasrec, south of Johannesburg. The economic freedom fighters this morning coming under increasing fire for banning certain media titles from its second National People's Assembly. eNCA's Thulasizwe Simelane is in the venue for us. I understand, Thulas, good morning to you, with Dali Mpofu, the national chairperson of the party. How's this media ban playing out?
Right, Jeremy, you come to us from Hall 6 here at the Nasrec Expo Center. It's starting to fill up. The event was meant to have started at 9 o'clock. It hasn't started yet. Delegates are sort of warming up into things, and there's a bit of chanting and singing going on, particularly by the delegation from Limpopo. People coming in and taking their seats. But of course, as you point out, as I see a number of journalists taking their seats, none of those will be from the Daily Maverick, as far as we understand, and a few other publications, and I believe Amapungane, from what has been reported. So let's get clarity on this issue. I'm joined by the EFF's national chairperson, Dali Mpofu. Dali, thank you so much for joining me. You know about the importance of political parties in our democratic ecosystem and how important they are in upholding our values in as far as the democracy that we have. So why are journalists, some journalists, not allowed to come here and cover the EFF National Congress?
No, there are no journalists that are stopped from covering the EFF National Congress. What we are stopping is people who have a political interest, who have expressed a political interest. So, for example, we wouldn't have the DA covering the EFF conference. So, but journalists, and you know, journalists, all the journalists who are here have criticized us, sometimes unfairly, but they are here. But where we draw the line is where people take a political posture. It's not the first time we do this, Thulas, and it's not the first time that we were condemned for it. You'll remember about 2 or 3 years before, the whole outbreak of the state capture thing, we said that ANN7, which was a mouthpiece of a faction in the ANC, was not allowed in our events. SANEF came and we had meetings and we explained it to them. They wouldn't understand. Only a year or two later, when the revelations were made in the Gupta leaks of how that institution was actually not a media institution, did they come to us? Not now, they didn't call a press conference. They were saying it now on the sides to us, hey, you guys, you were right. This time again, they will realize. And now this publication is a mouthpiece of the other faction. So we don't care which faction it is. That one was a mouthpiece of the Zuma faction. These ones are a mouthpiece of the Ramaphosa faction.
So categorically state then for us, Dali Mpofu, the Daily Maverick and Report, I believe, are not allowed to come through and report here because you view them as a faction, a mouthpiece of a faction.
No, that's another misconception. We have not said anything about who's allowed or not allowed to come to this conference. We have said, as we said with ANN7, that people who have taken such a political posture are not allowed to in our events. So whether we have a conference or a party or a birthday party or whatever, those people are not allowed to cover EFF events. That's it. And it so happens that there's a conference in between. The same thing would have happened, for example, with ANN7 if we had happened to have a conference at that time. Yeah.
And given your role in developing, our understanding of the freedom of expression within our constitution, and you've been part of some of the key litigation that has happened to try and assert that particular freedom of expression, that sits comfortably with you. It doesn't bother you at all that these publications are not allowed to cover certain political events that involve the EFF?
As the EFF, we also have to take a posture that gives political leadership and education. One of the lessons from this is that constitutional rights are not just things that are there. Constitutional rights go with obligations. You have a constitutional right to interview me here now, but you also have obligations to behave in a particular way. And so do I, by the way. And that's what happens. So if you deviate from your constitutional right, if you start swearing at me, for example, now as we are having this interview, I will walk away because you would have not kept your side of the bargain of the constitutional deal that is between us. And that is exactly what is happening. The constitutional rights of the media include not taking partisan sides, not vilifying selectively, not targeting certain people, and not lying about not just lying generally, but if I only lie about Thulas, but I don't lie about somebody else, then there's a problem.
Right, Dali, lastly then, let me ask you a conference-related question. What does the future hold for you within the EFF? There's a lot of talk about you and whether or not you will return as national chairperson of the EFF. Given some of the words that have been said previously about the EFF, about your role in the EFF and also your obligations as an advocate, whether or not that's allowed you to play an effective role in the leadership of the EFF. Some also wanting you to be deputy president of the EFF. What can we expect?
No, look, we're not going to discuss issues of leadership. It's a waste of time, really, to do that, Thulas, to be honest. The future of all these people, we're all delegates here. And all of us, our future is in the hands of these delegates. We are today, exactly 5 years since we were elected in Mangaung, on the 14th of December. On the spot, we are returning the organization to its rightful owners, which is the members, through their delegates. They will do with it what they want. If the delegates say, let's close down the EFF tomorrow, that's what we will do, because they are the owners. We are simply the people that they have entrusted with custodianship for 5 years. If not even 5 years and 1 day, for 5 years. So the future of me and everyone else is in the hands of the delegates. And that's how it should be. The word delegate means that you are here representing your branch. You are here delegated by your branch to come here and so it's a democracy. The very word delegate means it's already in democracy. Right. So the whole future, past and present is in the hands of the delegates.
All right, Dalimpofu, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. He is the national chairperson of the EFF there, Jeremy. You heard it for yourself, addressing the issues around the exclusion of some media houses from covering events of the EFF, and asserting that they are simply unapologetic about it because they view particularly the Daily Maverick, Jeremy, as an organization that they say is a mouthpiece of a faction.
All right, Thulasizwe Simelane for the moment. Thank you very much indeed. We will return to Nasrec a little later.